The 1891 Battle of Lugalo, fought between the Hehe army of Tanganyika, led by the legendary Chief Mkwawa, and the German troops, nearly annihilated a heavily armed German column in a single swoop. This was the first major defeat of the German colonial forces by Africans, severely shocking the government of Berlin. You see, the German agents could not forget the Hehe resistance because it inflicted a deeply humiliating military defeat on their forces and thereby dragged out a costly 7-year guerrilla war that shattered the myth of European invincibility in East Africa. And you can thank one Chief Mkwawa for this victory because this African chief did not flinch when it came to the art of warfare. But the Germans refused to accept the loss of this conflict and instead returned in October of 1894 with a larger, heavily organized expeditionary force. And this time they managed to capture Chief Mkwawa's fortified capital at Kalenga. In retaliation, Chief Mkwawa escaped and in turn transitioned into guerrilla warfare, engaging the German forces in 4 more years of evading capture while launching a hit-and-run attacks against them, embarking in a frustrating guerrilla campaign that drained colonial resources and eventually causing lingering paranoia among German officials. So they decided to use another tactic of putting a target on the chief's head by offering a massive bounty of 5,000 rupees for his capture, but he was never betrayed by any of his people. As a matter of fact, the Wahehe people were loyal to the chief and never snitched on him at any given time because they wanted the Germans to fold and leave Tanganyika. However, the Germans were persistent on hunting down Chief Mkwawa, come rain or shine, and by God, they were determined to capture him. But who was this Chief Mkwawa that gave the German colonial government in Tanganyika sleepless nights? Ah, yes, my people. Chief Mkwavinyika Munyingumba Mwamuyinga, more commonly known as Chief Mkwawa, was a ruler of the Hehe chiefdom in German East Africa who fiercely opposed the German colonization. Mkwawa was born in 1855 in Luhota in Kalenga town within the Iringa region of Tanganyika to Queen Sengimba and Chief Munyingumba, who ruled the Hehe people in what is now southern Tanzania. After the death of Chief Munyingumba in 1879, Mkwawa was next in line to inherit his father's seat of power and thereby became the leader of the Hehe and equally the ruler of his father's lands. However, the new chief was not just an ordinary leader, but a great warrior with unique fighting skills and abilities, which he used to protect the Hehe lands from the Ngoni people in the south and the Masa in the north, making him a hero to his people. Later on, Chief Mkwawa became famous for fiercely fighting against German colonialists in East Africa. And it happened as such that in the late 19th century, the nation of Germany claimed the region of Iringa in Tanganyika as part of German East Africa. But Chief Mkwawa adamantly refused to submit to foreign rule and declared that rather than submit to the Germans, he would instead fight them to the utmost limit, and rather than surrender to the Germans, he would instead die by his own gun. And there began the Hehe resistance between the invading German colonial army and the local Hehe people led by Chief Mkwawa in the Battle of Lugalo to ambush a long German marching column and led the Hehe army into victory over the Germans. In order to win this battle, Chief Mkwawa gathered about 3,000 warriors, mostly armed with simple stabbing spears and shields, and marched through the night hiding in thickets and tall grass of the Mgere River Valley. So when the Germans entered the valley, the Hehe army attacked from all sides in a fast and messy ambush. And even though the Germans carried powerful Moser rifles and Maxim machine guns, unfortunately, the ambush happened too quickly for them to unpack and use their guns, for they were overpowered by the Hehe warriors. Historians estimate that about 1,000 Hehe warriors died in the battle and about 350 German soldiers and porters were killed, including their lead captain Emil von Soleski, who died in the first minutes of the attack, and only 2 German officers escaped the conflict. The aftermath of this battle was a massive win for African resistance against European rule, as this defeat temporarily threw the Germans onto the defensive throughout their East African territories. The remaining German units were too weak to mount another expedition, therefore they enlisted the Holy Ghost missionaries to act as intermediaries in opening peace negotiations with Chief Mkwawa. And after 7 long years of this guerrilla resistance, it culminated with the death of Chief Mkwawa. To avoid capture by German colonial forces, Chief Mkwawa shot himself to death. The harrowing final hours and the aftermath of his death unfolded in this manner. While hiding in a forest near the Mlamambasi rock shelter, Chief Mkwawa and his remaining bodyguard were cornered by a German patrol led by Sergeant Major Johann Merkel. According to accounts, Chief Mkwawa took his own life rather than surrender to his enemies. Consequently, embittered by the prolonged conflict, German agents decapitated his corpse and sent his skull to the Bremen Anthropological Museum in Germany as a morbid trophy for their conquest. But the theft of the chief's head deeply troubled the Hehe people to the point that after the defeat of Germany in the First World War, the British government forced Germany to return Chief Mkwawa's skull to Tanganyika under the Treaty of Versailles that signaled the definitive end of German power. In the end, the British administration, which took over Tanganyika, successfully negotiated the return of the skull, which was officially handed back to his grandson, Chief Adam Sapi, in July of 1954. Chief Mkwawa will forever remain a national hero in Tanzania.